jeopardising South Africa's Group B campaign. For Burkina Faso, it's very simple. If they win tonight, they are through to the quarterfinals for the first time in their history. The national anthems to kick us off. We start with that of Burkina Faso. Proud moment for Burkina Faso, who are on a high. Is it going to get better tonight? Before we find out South Africa's national anthem. So it is showtime, and it is crunch time for Banyana. This was not in the script. World Cup qualification on the line. Only the 4 teams that get through to the semi-finals are guaranteed a place in Brazil next year. South Africa, having been to the last 2 tournaments, very much hoping to get there as we see the lineups. Burkina Faso, just the one change from the side that beat Tanzania in that historic victory last time out. Safiatou Sam coming into the side at left back. Jamilato Zongo dropping out. As you can see, 5 Burkina Faso players on a yellow card, and that will be of concern to them. But first, they need to do the most important thing, and that is to qualify. Cameroonian official today, Aline Gambon, refereed the CAF Women's Champions League final last year. Burkina Faso skipper just awaiting her South African counterpart, the VAR crew, Salima Mukansanga of Rwanda and Yassir Ahmed Abdelaziz of Sudan. So Refilwe Jane of South Africa, the highly experienced Refilwe Jane. Balkisa Sawadogo, who's fired home that famous winner for Burkina Faso last time out. Well, Kaylin Swart continues for South Africa, perhaps something of a surprise given her performance last time out, when at fault conceivably for both of the goals. Two changes, Isabella Ludwig coming in midfield, and Hilda Maguire, who came off the bench to score that sensational equaliser in the 99th minute to rescue a point against Ivory Coast last time out. 2-2 it ended, is in the side for what is her 50th cap for South Africa. Well, there is certainly going to be a bit of tension, and as I said, the permutations are, well, contorted and convoluted. We will come to them in just a moment. Burkina Faso winning the right to take kick-off. So we are off the third and final Group B game as this fascinating pool comes to a close. Burkina Faso playing from left to right in their white shirts with red shorts and white socks. South Africa, yellow jerseys, green shorts and yellow socks. Well, until Maguire's last minute or last gasp equaliser against Ivory Coast, South Africa's hopes were very, very threadbare. They haven't really improved all that much. As Katlana, Tembi Katlana swings one in, and that's going to break to Linda Motlalo. Noxolo Sesane trying to pick it up, but cleared away by Burkina Faso. So the simplest permutations is that if Burkina Faso win this game, they go through, whatever happens in the other game. And South Africa will, of course, be out. They would only finish with 1 point and would remain rooted to the bottom of the table. Early touch here for Swart. If it's a draw, South Africa are out again, and Burkina Faso will only go through. There's a bit of loose play at the back from Burkina Faso's goalkeeper, Nina Dabilgu. So, as said, if if the game ends in a draw, South Africa will be out and Burkina Faso will go through, but only as long as Ivory Coast beat Tanzania. And then if South Africa win, well, there are two ways in which they can make it through. One is that Ivory Coast beat Tanzania, and the other is that Tanzania beat the Ivorians, but there would have to be a big swing in the goal difference, a 4-goal swing. We'll explore them and come to them again if we need to later on. Important to keep eyes on what is going on across town in the Labi Zauli Stadium. Temi Catlana down the left-hand side. Just lets that roll out, knowing that it was going to go for a corner. Catlana, who launched the fight back against the Ivorians last time around. There's Desiree Ellis. She has never failed to get to the semi-finals during her time in charge. This her 5th Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Her first 10 years ago. And she will be hoping against hope that her team can still be in this competition when the quarterfinals take place at the weekend. Whoever makes it through from Group B is set to meet, depending on whether they finish first or second in the group, either Morocco, who tops Group A, or Algeria, who joined the host nation in making it through from the pool last night. In-swinger goes in and headed away. And very calmly done at the back to clear their lines. Antonia Maponya into Catlana. To Tabanani Umbani, who gets it back and plays it back into Swart. Karabo Dlamini. But in a very solid shift against Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast last time around. Oh, there's a bit of space out on that left-hand side, which wasn't really used. Right, Magaya. Sasane. Only as far as Balkisa. Sawadogo. Nicely taken down by Aldama Congo. One of the dangerous players for this Burkina side. It is the side ranked second on the continent against one ranked 16th. Burkina Faso made their WAFCON bow here in Morocco 4 years ago, and what a baptism of fire they had as they took on the host nation, Morocco, in a packed stadium. They did pretty well in their opening game, which was a real baptism of fire, as said. And despite losing that game and then their second in 2022 against the Senegalese, they recovered the Lady Stallions to draw their final game with Uganda. And have been the only time they had avoided defeat until their clash with Tanzania on Friday night, when they rode their luck at times and also got the rub of the green at others. Tanzania having scored early in the first half, a goal disallowed by VAR. And the Burkinabe found the net themselves, that stood. And then in the second period, well, Tanzania were reduced to 10 women after sending off early in the second half. And even though the Twiga Stars levelled matters up, 10 minutes from time, Burkina Faso found the net through Balkisa. Slide rule finish, tapped home to delight a nation who, as I understand it, are closely following in West Africa. Just swung in looking for Ludwig. Here is Ludwig, no flag as yet. Megaya dinking it up towards the back stick, and it's just going over, and that will be a goal kick to Burkina Faso. I was talking to some Burkinabe journalists here in the stadium earlier, and they were saying that on account of the fact that the team finally won a game and now is in contention for a historic place in the last 8, well, they have decided to send some journalists out here to cover the games. Obviously, very expensive to do so. And there are 3 Burkina reporters here that I can count. I'm not sure if they're any more, but they're at least 3. And they were saying that countrywide there is huge interest and pride in what their women's team have managed to do. It follows on from Burkina Faso performing really well in the African Schools Championship earlier in the year when getting to the final. And they are hoping to ride a wave that will take them through to the knockouts, something they have never achieved before, following their group stage exit on their only visit 4 years ago. Well, Swart comes out together. A real show of faith from Desiree Ellis in the 31-year-old goalkeeper. She came into the side for match day 2, replacing Andile Dlamini, with whom she's had a constant tussle over the years as to who will start in goal for the South Africans. As she was exposed for both Ivory Coast goals. Ruth Grace Seri sliding home from outside the box on both occasions, with Swart having come out and made it a little easy, stranded. And Seri just guiding it past her, passing it into the back of the net on both occasions. And well, apparently lots of discussions between the two. She maintains, Swart, that she is good friends with her long-standing rival for the position. We're a family. We are very good friends on and off the pitch, she was saying in the run-up to today's game. We have a strong unit, and with goalkeeping, we understand that only one can be on the pitch at a particular time. And between them, they do have a ton of caps. Dlamini, 87, and Swart winning her 56th today, so bags of experience. Sound of drums, happy and lively accompaniment to the action on the pitch. Well, play on, says the referee, no foul given, and they look for Bagaya. Linda Modlalo playing it back into Ponya, who's just caught. The UWC ladies fullback. Really interesting backstory, Maponya. She serves in the South African Navy as a sub-lieutenant. She was caught there, the 26-year-old. Barney. Looking to bring Sesane into the action. Unable to find her Mamelodi Sundowns colleague. Motlalo, really good challenge from Linda Motlalo in the centre of the park for South Africa. She was quiet last time around against Ivory Coast. And she often isn't. The woman who recently won 100th cap for South Africa. Ludwig with the flick. Ludwig, one of 2 players brought into the side today. Isabella Ludwig, another with Mamelodi Sundowns back home. The serial South African champions, and that's a mistake in the back of Burkina Faso. Well, she just could not take advantage. Well, what were they doing? At the back, gifting it to Congo, and she just could not take advantage, the 22-year-old. Well, Swart on this occasion did really well to come out. brave as well. Diving at the feet of Congo, who's already got 1 goal in this competition, and 4 years ago had the honour of scoring Burkina Faso's first ever goal at the WAFCON against Uganda. And then she became the first Burkinabe to ever score 2 different WAFCONs. She was closely followed by Adele Naomi Cabaret, who also scored against Uganda and found the net against Tanzania on Friday night, laying the platform. Lamini into the skipper, Rafile Jane. Kalana lets it run. Magaya does well to get that because it didn't look as though she would. Aponya. And then Magaya just getting caught. A free kick goes South Africa's way. Years of age now, Hilda Magaya. And that late goal maintains her run of scoring at every WAFCON she's played in. One of the goals that she is going to treasure, 5 in all she has from 3 tournaments. Swung in deep, and out comes Dabilgu. Punches it away. Balkisa just shepherds it out. Stephanie So with the throw. Looking long for Congo. Jane. Very well played from Jane, just showing really good feet to skip past to Katlana, looking for options in the middle. And it breaks South Africa's way, and instantly looking for Sasani. Odlalo now picks it up, and Banyana trying to keep the pressure, keep the ball in this Burkinabe half. Dabilgu again. Well, she only came in, Nina Dabilgu, in the first game after the number 1, Pauziatu Wedrogo, was sent off early in the second half of Burkina Faso's opening game against Ivory Coast. And she has retained her place. Today, Dabilgu preferred by South Africa's coach, Isa Balbone. Committed tackle from Dlamini, and then Ludwig catches Cabaret. That was the earlier challenge from Dlamini. And there is the Burkina Faso bench. So, with the delivery, 3 players just on the edge of the area. Maponya away. Ludwig. Nice ball through into Sassani and a little bit of space. Looking instantly for Catlana. And Catlana's just saying to her, look, put it on the floor. We know what she can do, Tembi Catlana. A real live wire. Excellent turn of pace. Former African Player of the Year, of course. Loves running into open spaces, and Burkina Faso will have to be mindful of that. Well, Congo adjudged to have fouled Lamini there. Looks at the officiating crew as if to ask why. Free kick South Africa's way nonetheless. This is the very first meeting at the tournament between these two sides. Burkina Faso having never faced Southern African opposition at the WAFCON, nor ever taken on a former champion. South Africa unbeaten in their last 7 final group games. But they need a win tonight. Can they find the scoring here? Oh, so close from Isabella Ludwig. Rose really well, the 23-year-old, and got the flick. And it just, I think it looked as if it came off a Burkina Faso player. It did, it should have been another corner. Instead, it's a goal kick to the Lady Stallions. She has never scored, Ludwig. And even though that might not have been going in, it could well have been the perfect knock-on to be touchstone inside the 6-yard box. Or might have been. Plenty of time, of course. Still to go, Gianni, Sassani, Modlalo. Space out on the right-hand side for Fikile Magama. Looking into the middle, and Catlana is in behind. One chance, one goal, and South Africa lead in a game they have to win. And that is the start they wanted, just 21 minutes on the clock. And it is Tembi Catlana to the rescue once again. Well, she was certainly onside, and that was the ball she wanted from Sassane just a moment ago. She got lucky because Rwamba Madina didn't cut it out. And you simply cannot afford to give this player that sort of room in the penalty area. She will punish you, and she duly did so. And Catlana has her second goal of the tournament, and what is now her 8th WAFCON goal in 8 WAFCON games. She burst onto the scene in 2018 with 5, and then unfortunately in 2022, after the 2020 edition was cancelled because of the coronavirus pandemic, well, she scored early on in the group stages, but then got injured and was out for the rest of the tournament. And mixed emotions for her, given the fact that she would have been delighted to see Banyana lift the trophy for the first time. As we see where South Africa are on the table, that's a little bit misleading, that table, though, because if it were to end like this, because of the head-to-head record, well, it's actually Tanzania who are above South Africa in the group. And then Catlana, well, she missed the last tournament for personal reasons. It is great to see her back, and back on form as well. Modlalo. Megaya. Well, every time they try and clear it at the moment, they're just finding a player in a yellow jersey. Cesane. Alimata Belen with the clearance away. Modlalo. That early goal will really settle South African nerves. Maguire with the run, but with a heavy touch as well. A reminder that South Africa need the other game to produce a winner if they are to make it through. In the meantime, they can just get on with winning this game and scoring as many goals as they can, so they're covered in both eventualities. Ponya is hacking that away into the Casablanca sky. Belem finding Safiatou Sam coming to the side today. That's nicely played. Burkina Faso just sitting on the ball and often going to the forward areas quickly instead of passing it around and losing possession once again as they do. Cesane caught late, but play on, says the referee. Modlalo thinking about the strike. Modlalo, well, she does hit it, but she doesn't catch it the way she wants to. Well, that's what she thinks of it. Goals in her locker. From her 100 games, while their players down on in both halves of the pitch. There's Burkina Faso's famous supporter. And look at the horse, or the stallion to be more accurate, that he's holding. Burkina Faso, known as Les Étalons, or the Stallions. Well, there's an ice pack going on to the Burkina Faso player down in the penalty area on the side of her head. The players using the opportunity to take on some fluids. All South Africa's players now back up on their feet. Congo just catching. Sat on by Jane. Slight elbow to the head, and then a knock to the back of the head as well. From the South African. Well, she's still off the pitch. Adama Congo, the 22-year-old. So currently, Burkina Faso playing with 10 women. Cabre bursting forward and winning the corner. Bane touching it behind. Nice little 1-2. Still we await the return of Congo to the pitch, who seems okay. Well, I thought it was going to be a corner. Instead, it's been given as a goal kick to South Africa. Schwar takes it. Plays out to Dlamini. Jane. Magaya. Ludwig closed down. And a foul goes. Burkina Faso's way. Magaya driving forward, Catlana on the charge, trying to find some space just a little bit behind her. She'll still get this. Thembi Catlana into Sassane. Sassane onto her left foot. Let's fly, but blocked, and then Modlalo pulled down. Now South Africa will have a free kick in a dangerous position. Heated discussion, possibly about who's going to take it. Well, it's going to be Rafil Wejani, the skipper. Dabiugu, who plays her football in Ivory Coast with ASEC Mimosas, tries to organise her wall. Beaten once in every game so far, that Burkina goalkeeper, and barking instructions from the back. Gianni. Catlana, lovely turn and lovely hit as well, but always rising. Well, that was straight off the training ground. Look at that first touch from Thembi Catlana. Absolutely exquisite to get it away from the centre-back Belem. Just could not keep it down, could not repeat the feat of her rocket against the Ivorians. And she drilled it into the top corner out of pretty much nothing to launch Banyana. Banyana's comeback, or fight back at least, given they didn't actually come back to win. Sassane. Gianni. Looking for Magama. Sam battling and winning it for the Lady Stallions. Glamini. Gianni. Balkisa. Ludwig wins the tackle, and South Africa can come forward again. Modlalo. Umbane. South Africa beginning to seemingly find their groove again. Gianni. Catlana making a real nuisance of herself in the final third. Well, there was an infringement spotted by the Cameroonian official. Yeah, so Burkina Faso will have the free kick. Well, they've come in the hope of seeing history. At present, though, their side now bottom of Group B. They did something against Tanzania they'd never done previously in the competition, which was open the scoring for the first time. Kisa trying to find the net from distance. Didn't catch it. Kisa Sawadogo, based in Saudi Arabia, the Burkina Faso skipper. She's made one, scored one from her 2 games so far. Judisayel trying to come forward. And then Ludwig really clattering into Medina. Certainly putting herself about a bit, the Sundowns midfielder. She made an impact in the last few minutes that she had against the Ivorians. Where South Africa threw the kitchen sink at the Lady Elephants. They got their reward as well. That's nicely played. Not the greatest follow-up pass though from Magama. Congo. Space on this right-hand side, and she finds Balkisa. Burkina Faso getting bodies forward into the area, 5 of them. Balkisa just unable to deliver the cross. A veteran of this Burkina Faso side, first called up in 2015. When she was just 16 years of age. So, and again, out comes Swart. Fairly comfortable, and she instantly looks long for Catalana, trying to use her body to turn Medina, but unfairly so. Burkina Faso, well, they wanted to get on quickly, but the ball was moving, and they've had to come back. Concerned faces watching on of the Burkina Faso persuasion. Judisayel looking inside to Razmata Sawadogo. Magaya, nice footwork and caught by Razmata, who offers an apology. Razmata, one of the 5 on a yellow card for Burkina Faso. May well be academic by the end of the 90 minutes tonight. But if a minor miracle happens, she needs to be careful. Jane. Space out on the right-hand side, a lot of it for Sesane. Modlalo through the middle. Such a graceful player. Magama just about holding on to it and rescued by Mbane. Here is Sesane. Magama. Back into Mbane, who had to apologise after the game against Ivory Coast for getting embroiled in a social media row with supporters, which was fairly ill-advised. She issued her apology. She was upset by some of the criticisms following the opening game. That shock defeat, of course, to Tanzania, but even when Banyana have done well over the years, they haven't always had most fulsome support at times. They'll be hoping to turn things around. Jane was speaking about that earlier in the tournament, saying they're trying to bring smiles to the people back home. We want to be a bridge of hope economically, politically, and to unite our people, she had said. But they've still got a bit of work to do if they're going to do that. Razmata making ground deep into South African territory. Here she is again. 23-year-old plays it back into So. That's a good-looking cross into the middle. And Bane with a really important header away. Nice bend and shape from So. Balkisa trying again. And finding South African again. Bane standing firm. Magaya. Sasane, and Magaya's in a bit of space if she could be fouled, but instead Magaya was fouled and gets the apology as well from Sam. Dropped last time out after starting match day one, back in the side today. The left back who plays her football for Etan Selin, Burkina Faso. 10 of the squad based outside the country, which is a significant improvement or increase on the 2 that were based overseas 4 years ago. Players being spotted. This is a terrific shot window for African. Women footballers, and a lot of them have been on the move in recent times. Dlamini, really well read, and then just ran into a Burkinabe sandwich. Well, that's asking a lot of Cabaret. Ludwig adjudged to a foul. Burkina Faso send the players up from the back one more time. Oh, excellent header, really attacked it, but unable to guide it on target. But Cabaret showed excellent movement. Look at that, to steal in ahead of Mbane. Just needed a gentler glance to guide it towards goal. But excellent drive from the 21-year-old. Rose well, and well, she didn't get her rewards, but good delivery. And really good running from the 21-year-old Cabaret, based in the People's Republic of China. And a player who is key to this Burkina Faso side in its hopes of making it through. That's a corner to the Lady Stallions, with time running out in this opening period, but they've done well to respond after conceding their 14th minute goal to Catalana following a mistake at the back. Nadina failing to cut out the ball from Sasane. And now they're trying to find themselves level before the break. Balkisa. Bane away again. And it comes through. Didn't really have the power from the central defender, Medina. It's pretty ambitious. Trying to atone for her earlier misjudgment when failing to cut out Sessane's through ball to Catalana for the Banyana goal. Well, still they come, Congo. Now they've got a bit of space. Here's Cabre. And still Cabre. Dlamini. Sayal. So, looking for Cabre. Congo. So again, always playing it in towards the edge of the D and very direct. There's space on the left-hand side if they can get it out, and they do. Razmata doing so. Now they need more bodies in the box. Burkina Faso. Just ran into traffic. Julia Nana. And you can see Sessane being caught. As we see Catalana's finish again. That's the error I was talking about from Medina. And as you might expect from the 30-year-old Mexico-based Catalana, clinical with the finish. How many times has she come to South Africa's rescue? And all seems lost. Well, there has been a goal in the other game, and it is a potentially crucial one as well, because Ivory Coast have scored, and that means that should this stay the same in both this match and the Ivorians clash with Tanzania, then it will be the Ivorians and South Africa going through to the last 8 of the weekend. There'll be 2 minutes of additional time. But Ivory Coast currently on 7 points. South Africa would be on 4. Burkina Faso and Tanzania would both be on 3. There may well be more twists and turns to come. But at present, this rescue job for Banyana is going as well as it could. Dlamini looking for options and trying to thread that through to Ludwig, I think. Valkisa on the turn. Oh, just lost her footing as she went for the turn. And Lalo passing it straight at an opponent. Razmata. Sessane picks this up. And gets it back from Swart. Jane. Back on African club football after spells overseas. Jane. Australia, I should say. Italy with Milan. But returned home after a lengthy injury that kept her out of the game for so long in 2025. Well, there goes the half-time whistle. And Tembi Catalana's early goal, the difference between the sides. They may well find out that the Ivorians are leading when they get to the dressing room, so that they will know that they may well be still in this competition in about an hour from now. A decisive finish. Burkina Faso tried to rally, couldn't find a way past Kaylin Swart in the Banyana goal. At half-time of this final Group B game, it is Burkina Faso 0, South Africa 1. The half-time statistics. South Africa with the greater possession and the more total shots. But just the one strike on target. Kalana did have another effort which sailed over. Cabre went close for Burkina Faso. Medina tried her luck as well. Nine fouls apiece. But the 1-0 scoreline at the top, the important one. So the first half highlights from the final Group B game for both Burkina Faso and South Africa. The Burkinabe starting the day second in the group, South Africa bottom. And Banyana, the 2022 champions, needing to win and I hope that result in the other game between Tanzania and Ivory Coast goes their way, if they are to continue in this competition and make it to the quarter-finals at the weekend and obviously maintain their hopes of making it through to the Women's World Cup. Hilda Maguire with a little dink towards the back post, which didn't come off. Maguire having scored that last gasp equaliser against Ivory Coast on match day 2, and then mistake at the back from South Africa. Allow Burkina Faso in, and she just couldn't profit. And then Nina Dabilgu, the Burkina Faso goalkeeper, clearing away under pressure. And then it was Isabella Ludwig who went close, meeting the corner, rising well, and her header getting a little deflection before going behind. Attacked it well to the 23-year-old, and then the moment of the half so far. Tembi Katlana played in after an error at the back from Medina Traore. And she was not going to miss from there, the former African Player of the Year. Earning the applause from Noxolo Sesane. And Katlana tried to double the lead. This was a really nicely worked free kick from the South Africans. Fielway Jane, the skipper, finding her centre forward. Really smart turn. Look at that movement. Finding the space and unable to keep it down. Burkina Faso responded. Medina Traore had a strike, and earlier Naomi Cabre had gone close with a header from a free kick. So they failed to beat Kaylin Swart, who has had a decent half after that really tricky 90 minutes she had against Ivory Coast. At the break in Casablanca, it's Burkina Faso 0, South Africa on course at present to the quarter-finals 1.
open up one.
So the team's back out on the pitch, and South Africa set to make a change as well. A double substitution. And Mohaleng, what's out? The midfielder, and Lebaheng, Ramalepe coming on. Linda Modlalo going off. And Sasane as well. Ramalepe, bags of experience, and so too Mortal. Well, Dlamini's missed that, and that's a foul quite surely in the area. Well, it has been given, has it? It has pointed to the spot for Burkina Faso. Cabre leading the applause. Well, it instantly looked a challenge that was going to possibly result in the referee pointing to the spot. Dlamini missed it, and then Maponya just steaming in. She got a little bit of the ball, and then did Cabre go into her as ever. I'm sure this will be checked by VAR. Well, what a start to the second half. And I was saying it was going to be checked by VAR, but I'm not sure it is yet, but so many things are these days. And now we do have the VAR signal from the referee, who is coming over to have a look at the monitor. You can't see it on your screens, you can now. Maponya got a little bit of the ball, and then was she simply clattered into by Cabre? It all happened at very high speed. There's the missed contact. You can see the Cameroonian official, Aline Gambon, asking them to roll it on and play it back. And then Cabre goes in, and I think this is going to be overturned. Well, to be fair to the Cameroonian, she has made her decision very, very quickly. And I think she's come to the right decision as well. Well, Cabre disappointed. She thought she had got the perfect beginning to the second period. But Burkina Faso have not retreated. They know what is on the line here. And they will be ambitious. Their coach was hugely ambitious in the run-up to this tournament, saying that his wish was for his team to lift the trophy itself. On the 16th of July, he said that was the image that he had of success for Burkina Faso on only their second ever appearance of this competition. But it just shows the confidence that he has in his players and in the belief that they can go on and do something unexpected at this tournament. A reminder that at present it is Ivory Coast who started the day top and South Africa who started the day bottom of the group, who are making it through to the quarterfinals. And there is the mouth-watering prospect of Morocco, the host nation, meeting South Africa at the weekend for a place in the World Cup. That is how it is looking at present, and what a clash that would be. It would be on Saturday in the Moroccan capital, Rabat. That really would be some encounter, a repeat, of course, of the 2022 WAFCON final. Long from Burkina Faso, and the flick comes in, but straight into the arms of Swat. No stranger to the Women's World Cup herself. In goal for all 3 games. 3 years ago, when South Africa reached the knockout stage for the very first time. And that was what Desiree Ellis was citing as a reason for belief ahead of this game, because at the 2023 Women's World Cup, South Africa started with defeat, just as they did here. Their second game ended in a draw, just as happened here. And they went into their third game needing a win to make it through, just as has happened here. And in the 92nd minute of their final group game at the last World Cup, Thembi Kgatlana popped up with the winner to ensure that Banyana went through to the knockout phase for the very first time in their history. And the belief very much was that that was going to be a platform for Banyana to build on going forward. But their start to this competition, but that in some doubt. Here's an opportunity for Judiciel on the edge of the area for Burkina Faso. Doesn't get any shot away. This does break free, and Lamini has the block. So Burkina Faso will just have to settle for the throw. The goal for the Burkinabe, the goal for Tanzania changes everything again. And Ludwig just happy to sweep that away and invite Burkina Faso to start again. Belem leading the charge from centre-back. Well, there's an offside flag gone up. And South Africa can take their time. Well, Banyana failed to win their opening 2 games at WAFCON for the first time since 2016, when Ellis was first in charge, then in an interim capacity. And they managed to respond on that occasion to not just make it out of the group, but also reach the semi-finals. Plenty of chance from Ellis about the resilience of her time. Never say die until the final whistle was the rallying call at her pre-match press conference. The 63-year-old, as they play it out of defence, possibly overplayed it out of defence. Motau. And Motau gets it back and sends Catlana through. She's got Ludwig in the middle if she can find her. Here is Ludwig, she cannot convert. Well, that was on a plate for South Africa to get their second. Excellent ball in from Catlana and Ludwig. Well, she really should have got something on this. Stretching, she caught the Burkina goalkeeper instead. And here is De Bilgu. And here is Catlana again. And again, it's Ludwig in the middle. Motau as well, inside her. And a little push from Catlana means Burkina Faso will have the free kick after that challenge on Nana. Belem into Medina. Balkisa. Congo with the running and the little skill inside. Looking for Cabaret. Just always looking to play off the shoulder. Medina just touches that into touch. Motau. Good strength from the substitute. Well, the decision goes Burkina Faso's way. Motau having felt the force of that. Clattering in herself, of course. She was co-captain of the last edition at Motau. Former skipper of both the under-20 and under-17 sides. Wrestled to the floor and earning the free kick in the process, and South Africa take it early. Medina away. So, Razmata. Bit of space for Congo. Just plays it straight into Magama. Motau. Magama again. Catlana. Looking for Ludwig, and they're not quite on the same wavelength there, Catlana and Ludwig. Not for the want of trying from Catlana's part. Magama into the middle. Now Medina away. Nice skills from Judiciel, but Juliette Nana is down on the ground, and the referee is stopped play as a result, and medical crew come over. Nana, like many of the Burkina Faso squad, playing at her second WAFCON. And like many in the, not just Burkina Faso squad, but many squads at this tournament, started off playing football with boys in her local neighbourhood because of a shortage of girls teams. But with perseverance, dedication. Many of those who overcame such challenges have found their way to the greatest stage for women's football on the continent. Based in Turkey, Nana just comes off the pitch while the South African players take on some fluids. And we're back underway with a fair few players still by the touchline. But they got on with it early. Balkisa. Congo and Cabaret up ahead of her. Well, it came through and Congo didn't read the bounce, and Cabaret was unable to get anything on it. As Mata clattered into by Ramalepe. And Ramalepe is in the referee's notebook, the substitute. Well, she's hugely experienced, Ramalepe. The 34-year-old with Sundowns. Made the best 11 in 2022, but she's not having the best time here. Started on match day 1, dropped for match day 2. Almost scored an embarrassing own goal in that first meeting in Group B against Tanzania. And now she's got a yellow card for her troubles as well. Well, we've seen Burkina Faso put in some decent balls. Certainly in the first half. Yet to see it so much in the second, but this is a good opportunity for them to do so here. They've got one player in the centre circle, and all the other outfield players are up and around the penalty area. Balkisa plays it in, and unfortunately she slipped as she did so. Razmata headed on, Jane away. Madina. She does like to get forward, the central defender for Burkina Faso. So, into Madina again. Judah Sayel. Oh, that's a cross-come shot, let's say. But easy takings for Swart again. Well, it is still Ivory Coast 1, Tanzania 0, which means that it is still the Ivorians and the South Africans who are going through. South Africa, as said, would be facing Morocco if it stays as is, and Ivory Coast would be taking on Algeria, which could be billed as a game of attack versus defence. And here's Katlana. Well, she just tried to take it away from Belém with her first touch, but Belém was equal to it. The 21-year-old flagged offside in any case. She was talking before the game, Alimata Belém, about what it would mean to Burkina Faso women's football if they could indeed make it through. She said it would mean so much to us as a team and our people if we go on to win this game. We have an opportunity to continue writing history, and that's very much been the theme of the Burkina Faso camp in the run-up to this game, but they got defending to do now. Ramalepe into Ludwig, trying to turn away from Madina. And Ludwig, who has certainly not been shy in coming forward in this game, has earned a yellow card for that challenge. It wasn't for that one, it was for this on Balkisa. And that's actually Ludwig's final action of the night. And on comes Nonchalant Tandy, the midfielder, another one with Mamelodi Sundowns. 3 changes now from South Africa. Burkina Faso yet to make one. Maponya trying to set Catalano away, and look at the pace as she goes free. Ramalepe in the middle. Well, she played it across the area. There was no one there, and then threw out her arms as if to say, where were you? The problem for Thembi Catalano is she's far quicker than most others in this squad or any other, and no one could really keep up with her. Here's the substitute who's just come on. Ramalepe back into Mtandi. And here's Mtandi again, looking in the middle. Catalano sniffing, Motau! Over the bar, she just couldn't keep it down. Well, the cutback was into the right area. 3 South African players there. There was a Burkina Faso player who touched it into the path of the substitute Motau. And she sliced and slashed horribly at the effort. Another chance for Mtandi, who's been heavily involved in the couple of minutes she's on the pitch so far. The referee just telling Mbane to keep calm. As Burkina Faso do make their first change of the game. And it's Nana who comes off. Weira Deborah who comes on, and she came on the other day, the 17-year-old, and had a hand in Balkisa's winning goal against Tanzania. Can she make a similar impact this time around? Belem's deep delivery. Easy once more for Swart, who's always looking to release Catalano, understandably so. Here she is, Catalano, she can hit them from here. But she unselfishly looked for Ramalepe and out cross with herself as a result, because it wasn't the pass. Motau. Ramalepe in a little bit of space, and they're constantly trying to play her in. Well, Motau's brought a lot of energy to the centre of the park, a very different player to Motlalo, who she replaced, who glides forward. Motau, far more industrious, bustling, all action. Whereas Mata does manage to keep it in, and Burkina Faso retain the throw. They need to find a goal. And if they do so, just one, then they themselves, Burkina Faso, will be taking one of the 2 berths into the quarter-finals. Sam. Balkisa into touch. Belem. Ramalepe. Off goes Catalano again, and Catalano spotting the goalkeeper off her line, tries her luck, just past the post from Thembi Catalano. They're very quick thinking from the South Africa forward. Excellent peripheral vision from South Africa's goal scorer. Well onside, as you can see. Dabilgu, well, where was she? She didn't get the contact she would have wanted. Catalano, I think she would have wanted to lift that over the goalkeeper. But in the end, she had Dabilgu scrambling in any case. Nicely played, flicked forward to Cabaret. So, just plays it into touch, and South Africa in the final quarter, taking their time. There is a penalty to Ivory Coast in the other game, which could well seal top spot in the group for the Lady Elephants, should it go in. A reminder, they are leading by a goal to nil. That's asking a lot. And the penalty has been converted by Ivory Coast, so their place in the last 8 seems fairly secure. The question is, of course, who will be joining them? So the Ivorians up to 7 points in the group, as they were already, but now 2 goals to the good. And unlikely, seemingly, they're going to be caught. And as long as there's just the 1 goal in this game, then South Africa are living dangerously. But Burkina Faso just need 1 to cause a major upset. Mutau. Magaya. Not a further change, and that was the last action for Magaya. On comes Gabriela Salgado. For what is her 50th appearance, so 1 player who won a 50th cap tonight being replaced by another who's doing exactly the same. Salgado will just slot it to midfield as well, the 28-year-old. Second whack on her first last year was one she may not remember too fondly. She got really badly injured in the semi-final against Nigeria, so badly that she was ruled out for the rest of the year, but thankfully she's back now. And hopefully able to build better memories as Burkina Faso look to Deborah. Mutau trying to mop up, that's nice from Cabaret. Sam, looking long, up goes Deborah, gets the touch and just can't find the power enough on it. And Swart, who's had a much better evening, takes it again and once more instantly looks for Kalana. A clear pattern of play. Medina, nice first touch from Deborah. Trying to play it inside, but Nagama cuts it out. Here's Deborah again. Sam. It's not the ball to play to Cabaret, who is not the tallest. So just under 20 to go. South Africa would dearly love to score a second. And until they do, I'm not sure they're going to relax. Here's Salgado. There is Ellis. She does not look as though she's sitting comfortably, unsurprisingly. She said the mood in camp was very poor after the match against Tanzania, that shock defeat. She said she didn't need to do too much because the players knew exactly what they needed to do. You don't need to keep reminding people because they also discuss it amongst each other as a group. We allow that because we're a team and we trust each other. They're all on the same page is what she's trying to say. Swart, meanwhile, used a war analogy, saying the team was full of soldiers. It's going to be a battle against Burkina Faso. We're up for it. We have a strong mental toughness. So there was lots of chat in the build-up to this game from the South Africa camp about having the right mentality and salvaging their campaign, and so far, so good. Salgado. No attempted pass to Catalana, cut out. Umtandi. Ramalepe was the intended target, and South Africa will have the throw, which Magama will come over to take. Bane. That's too deep and not angled correctly either. So, into Deborah. Cabre picks it up. Top scored in qualifying for Burkina Faso. One goal here already, but she's had very, very little tonight. Just that late opportunity, a half chance from a free kick in the first half. Otherwise, she's been full of running, but with little reward. And Congo's been quiet as well, I'm sure. Fatigue creeping in for some of these players as well from Burkina Faso, not so used to tournament football like this. And that's surely a Burkina Faso free kick in his. Balkisa brought down. Knows the conditions here well. Balkisa has twice had spells playing here in Morocco. First for AS FAR, the serial Moroccan champions with whom she won a title in 2023. Then Phoenix Marrakesh. Very much on home ground. Well, what can Burkina Faso do with this? Once again, they have thrown up the bodies from the back. In it goes, headed on and hacked away. And Umtandi with the block, and then Ramalepe trying to follow up. All a little bit scrappy. Motau just anywhere will do, and she manages to find Catalana. Magama looking for Umtandi. Oh, nice first touch from her. And then looking inside, Ramalepe. Well, I think she was trying to play in Catalana and unable to do so. Razmata taking it very quickly. Umtandi. Magama, lovely little feint. The pass didn't match a bit of skill. Judicial under pressure from Jani. Ramalepe picks this up. Salgado going into the area. That's the intended target. And very cleverly left, if that's what she meant to do. Medina just ducked her body. And the ball rolls through to the right back. So Salgado down again. This game littered with fouls. Well, they're not exactly throwing numbers forward. Banyana. Belem. No one around her. She heads that clear. Jane. Cabre. She has certainly not given up on this. Balkisa. Razmata. Groans from those of a Burkinabe persuasion, but they've got the free kick. So Cabre, one would suggest that Burkina Faso needs to see more of the ball, because she's the one who's really driving them forward when she gets it, showing the urgency required with just over 10 minutes left. It's just one goal they need. Well, Belem's last delivery wasn't quite what was required. Can she improve upon it now? She's striking a goal. And Swart won't mind that at all. Aims for Catalano again, but so alert to it. Tandy. Just say out. Medina loves to get forward, the centre-back. Cabre. Well, looked like she was caught by Magama, and that's what she's turned to the referee to ask and implore. No decision given. Belem just signed for Washington Spirit on the eve of the tournament in the NWSL in the United States. Spirit have brought a lot of African players before this tournament, perhaps fearful of the fact their value would have gone up if they'd done their business later. Here's Medina. Based in Turkey with Trabzonspor. So. Well, that's a mistake in the back from Maponya. Cabre looking for support, playing it into Razmata. Magama away. Burkina Faso will pick this up well. She had time to bring it down and play a pass, and instead she went for it early, just as Sayel, and I don't think that was the most judicious decision. So, Congo. Medina looking for Cabre. Dlamini. Tandy. Overrun it. And then she's definitely caught her opposite number, and that is a free kick to Burkina Faso. South Africa waiting to make a substitute. Warnell Donnelly is going to be coming on. And there's Catalana, who goes off. Well, they are not retaining her in case Burkina Faso do fine. A late equaliser, and here's her goal. Expertly played in by Magama. And nutmegging Wgu for the single solitary strike that could be enough to take Banyana into the last eight. Striker goal from Judith Ayal. Very ambitious. Here's Razmata. Body still forward in the box. And headed behind. And Swart does really well and saves it from going behind from a corner, for a corner. Well, she has been much improved tonight, and she has rewarded the vote of confidence from Ellis. So it's Donnelly and Ramalepe leading the line for South Africa. Donnelly, I understand it, nursing something of a minor knock, hence the restricted playing time, but she made a real impact when she came on against Ivory Coast last time out. The 22-year-old, another one with Mamelodi Sundowns. her height was a real threat, as was Ludwig, the other substitute. Well, can she get on the end of this? Salgado into the middle. Ramalepe touching it back to Mtande. Ramalepe again, tries it with the outside of the boot. A nice idea, but a very, very difficult one to execute. An anxious watch from the sidelines, especially when you can do no more. Belém will pump this forward, as has been a feature. Another long-timer in this Burkina Faso side. She made her national team debut, aged just 15, 7 years ago. And again, it's a yellow jersey that gets on the end of it. Clipped again, and I think she knew that was coming from Donnelly and read it and wanted to have another go to play this into the area. Still 2-0 across town between Ivory Coast and Tanzania. Jane to Salgado. Well, Donnelly was in a lot of space in the middle of the park if she had played it to her. Instead, far too much on it from Gabriela Salgado. Ramalepe, she can do the same now. Here is Donnelly. Can she get the shot away? Well, she can't, because it's really good defending to block the danger. And South Africa will have the corner. Well, Belém did really well to smother that, because Donnelly was in and clear. Excellent defending from Belém, who's not missed a minute for Burkina Faso, and has been amongst those who impressed, certainly at the back, with the likes of Cabre doing so at the other end. Jane with the delivery. Judith Ayala away. Here goes Cabre. Well, I thought she was clipped. She was. The advantage didn't last very long, so Burkina Faso will have another free kick. This is a bit of cramp. Very much looks like it. Well, that's the fatigue we were talking about at the end of tournament football. There's the challenge, and look at the desire from Cabre, the youngster. Congo, she's looked at a little leggy for quite a while now. And if they've got other options on the bench, which of course they do, it may well be worth bringing them on. Ellis watches on, her record of having never failed to go past the group stage. It's possibly going to remain intact against all odds. Well, certainly when they were trailing 2-0 against Ivory Coast late on match day 2. Little flick forward, looking for Cabre, who cannot get anything on it. Swart alert again. And she will go down and just run down a little bit of the clock as well. That was the touch she was looking for, Cabre, and it just did not come. Good handling from Swart, and then using all her years of experience, the 31-year-old, just to take the sting out of it, take some time too. Well, there is a substitution. Muniratu Compaore, 28-year-old forward, is on. Congo still on the other side of the pitch. And the break in play is because Swart is still down. As we tick towards the 90-minute mark. Tembi Katlana has been announced as the woman of the match for this encounter. And she looks to have settled it. We wait to see how much additional time. And we wait to see if Burkina Faso can have one more chance in the time remaining. Swart back up. Well, chance to tell you that Group C concludes tomorrow when Nigeria, the defending champions, face Egypt. Malawi meet Zambia in the other game. Malawi top of the group with 6 points. Nigeria and Zambia both on 3. Egypt pointless. That's going to be a very interesting evening. And then on Thursday night, it is the turn of Group D to conclude. Cameroon already through from that group, and who will join them? It will either be Ghana or Mali. Seven minutes of additional time. Well, it's going to be squeaky bum time for South African fans. Of course, that's a considerable amount of time to hold on. Medina. Will that give Burkina Faso a lift despite their tired bodies? Deborah forward, looking for Cabaret. Ramalepe. Balkisa. Too much on that. And Swart gathers again. Well, she's no longer got the outball, of course, to Katlana. Looking long instead to Donnelly and Ramalepe. Judith Ayel and Tandy. Tandy trying to come in. Deborah. Nice layoff on Balkisa, but Razmata wrong-footed. Ramalepe. Too much on that for Donnelly. So, Judith Ayel. Up towards Cabaret. Well met by Umbane. And Congo clipped. And that'll be another free kick to Burkina Faso. A lot closer to the South Africa penalty area. A reminder that the Lady Stallions just need one goal. A point will take them through. Motau getting in a tangle behind Congo. They need a hero, Burkina Faso, if they are to produce an almighty shot and eliminate one of the heavyweights of this tournament from the competition. So standing over it, so too Belem. It's going to be Belem on our left foot this time who takes it, and there was no one challenging Swart, who had a little bit of space, far more than she would have expected, or felt entitled to, because it was a decent ball in from Belem. Well, Ramalepe is offside if she touches this, and there does go the flag, and that is an offside decision that goes Burkina Faso's way. We've had 3 of the 7 minutes of additional time. And you can only feel that that last free kick was slightly wasted by Burkina Faso, not in terms of the delivery, but certainly in terms of the way it was attacked. Motau. So, another opportunity to come forward for Burkina Faso. Looking for Cabaret, who gets the flick, but it was going to have to be some finish from there. 6 minutes of additional time being played in the other game. Still, Ivory Coast lead by 2 goals to 0 against Tanzania, who are seemingly going home whatever happens in this game. But they will depart with fond memories, and none fonder than when they beat the former African champion South Africa. Here's Ramalepe playing for time. Well, there are 2 balls on the pitch, and now there are no balls on the pitch. Magama. That's Mata drawing the foul from Mtandi, and they need to get this forward at pace. Burkina Faso. Belem can play with either foot. Jane with the header away. Thou shalt not pass, says the South African skipper. Cabre still going, still causing problems, and Lamini came across, alert to her presence. And the threat she brings. Swung in Balkisa. Here is Cabre. And that's going to be a goal kick, and no more. Well, a reminder that this half start of the penalty awarded to Burkina Faso, only for VAR to overturn it correctly so, in my opinion. But what a start to the second half, and different game we may have had that stood and gone in, of course. Belem. Judiceo. Congo. Well, that's Mata. Knocked off it by 2. Cabre. Up against Mbane. Still she's got it, Cabre. 3 in the middle if she can find them. Unable to do so, and anywhere will do time at the back for South Africa, and in so doing, they win a free kick as well. Dlamini will take a knock like that all day long as it means that her side will be going through to the last 8. We are in the 7th and final minute, and very shortly we may see huge celebrations from the South Africa squad. They've just got to see this out. So, it's his last chance salute for Burkina Faso. Plays it long. Nicely steered around the corner. Cabre, the only one in the middle for them to aim at. And they've got to get on with this. But there isn't time, because South Africa, despite losing their opening game and this 2026 WAFCON, have turned it around and come back from the brink to qualify for the quarterfinals. The 2022 champions are still alive, and they will meet the team they beat in the 2022 final, host nation Morocco, in Saturday's quarterfinal in Rabat. Ivory Coast, the other team to be making it through, will be taking on Algeria. Burkina Faso's dream is over, but they will look back on this campaign with real pride and as something they can build upon following their first ever victory in the tournament when seeing off Tanzania on match day 2. An early goal from Tembi Katlana was the difference between the sides, no more than that, pouncing on an error at the back from Medina. But Desiree Ellis lives to fight another day, and Banyana, their Women's World Cup dream is alive as well. What a clash that will be. Both South Africa and Morocco went to the 2023 Women's World Cup. Now, because of the way it has panned out, only one of them can. That is going to be an almighty clash in the Moroccan capital, Rabat, on Saturday. Make sure you tune in for that 2000 GMT. But South Africa have done it. Burkina Faso go home. It has ended on a tense evening in Casablanca. Burkina Faso 0, South Africa 1.
Tebi, a very great performance today from Ibanyana Banyana. They knew what was at stake. Just how do you feel about that performance before we talk about your player of the match?
It was a really great team effort. I think in the history of South African football, this team always comes back to perform, and we knew how much it was important for us to first get this victory, and then we'll see everything that comes from it.
And your player of the match, what does it mean? I know you are a team player, but what does it mean to get this individual accolade?
For me, it's a boost, personally. I started slow with the tournament as the third game, and I think I'm getting my momentum. And thanks to my teammates, I don't think I would be here today if it wasn't for them, for their encouragement, all the challenges and difficulties we face every day in training. And this belongs to them more than it belongs to me. Thank you.
The statistics from the final game in Group B for both Burkina Faso and South Africa, one in which South Africa came off the bottom of the group to make it through to the quarter-finals. Look at that. It's Burkina Faso, who had far less of the possession in the first half, coming back into it. They also had more shots, but unable to convert any of them into goals. South Africa, just the one shot on target all game, and it was enough to take them through. He picked up a yellow card as well, Ramalepe and Ludwig, but none that were suffered by a player on a yellow card, so they will have a clean bill in terms of that for Saturday's quarter-final against Morocco. And they got a few days to prepare for it as well. What an encounter that is going to be. So confirmation of the results. Tanzania pulling a goal back late on, but not enough to deny Ivory Coast from taking top spot in the group. And the Ivorians unbeaten, 2 wins and 1 draw from the Lady Elephants. And their clash against Algeria should be really interesting as well. Algeria is such a good defence, and Ivory Coast with such a strong attack as well will be fascinating. So the final Group B standings: Ivory Coast top of the pile, and South Africa, courtesy of that early goal from Thembi Kgatlana and the narrow win over Burkina Faso, edging their way through to the knockout phase. Tanzania and Burkina Faso, well, they will look back on their campaigns and be delighted to have got victories, ones they will never, ever forget. On Wednesday night, Nigeria, the 10-time defending and reigning champions, take on Egypt. It will be tough going for the Egyptians, one would imagine, and that game between Malawi and Zambia, absolutely fascinating. Zambia, who hit Egypt for 6 on match day 1. Malawi, who upset Nigeria. Should be a fascinating clash, especially with the firepower up front for both sides.